In the wake of the Senate CIA torture program report, you would think that this would be a time of reflection, a time of perhaps some collective shame for a country that we conducted this pattern program of torture, that many Americans supported it when it was happening, still support it to this day. Perhaps we should stop and think about what that means about us as a country when we're being threatened from abroad. But not everybody is conducting that sort of self-examination. Here is Andrea Tantaros on Fox's Outnumbered.
The United States of America is awesome. We are awesome, but we've had this discussion. We've closed the book on it and we've stopped doing it. And the reason they want to have this discussion is not to show how awesome we are. This administration wants to have this discussion to show us how we're not awesome.
This administration
they apologize for this country. They don't like this country. They want us to look bad, and all this does is have our enemies laughing at us.
Waterboarding, awesome or not awesome?
I don't know. We should have a discussion about that as a country.
Feeding, awesome or not awesome?
Less awesome than waterboarding. By the way, she managed on a panel where she was sitting across from a former MTV VJ to be the least intelligent person on that panel. She has been a host for a number of years. She's not just a guest. She's been a host for a number of years. She ran a consulting firm. She's considered quite intellectual. She said the word awesome like 6 times in that sentence. And she implied that anytime the Senate investigates and reports on a massive government program, the only reason you should do that is to discuss how awesome we all are.
So this is what really divides liberals and conservatives. Conservatives like to think that we're awesome, and any criticism is not awesome.
It's seen as disloyal, disrespectful, and immoral.
It's like they're children, and like, mommy's awesome. There's nothing wrong. She's perfect.
Exactly, Steve. That's exactly what we've said before.
It's ridiculous, and liberals like to look at the situation and see the country for what it is. A very complex history. We did some great things. We did some bad things. When we injected syphilis into the Tuskegee Airmen, that was bad. That was not awesome, Andrea.
When we dropped nukes, that was bad. But
not
we've
awesome.
done great things too. And we're less focused on fooling ourselves into thinking that we're awesome right now or have always been awesome in the past, and more focused on trying to make ourselves and our society awesome in the future.
Yeah, I mean, we're like grown-ups. We try to find problems and try to fix them because we love the country. We want to make it more awesome, right? Not less awesome. And all they want to do is just scream how awesome it is. That's all they want to do. They think cheerleading is patriotism. That's not. I mean, because anyone can cheerlead. That is lazy, okay? To really care, I mean, you know, as a parent, as a colleague, as a friend, as a boss or whatever, you need to look at the situation, find ways of, identify the bad, identify the good, and figure out ways of making tough decisions that make the whole situation better. That is true caring. Just screaming, yay, we're awesome, that is not caring.
So these are the same people who believe so much in the dignity of human life that they're willing to make a clump of cells inside of a woman's body have the full rights of a human being. But they won't give full rights of a human being to an actual person who's already born. They don't want any problem. See, what torture does, it not only dehumanizes the torturer, but it also dehumanizes the torturer and the whole society, right? And it goes one step further. It denies them their personhood. There's no, honest, I just can't, people like that, they just, if their word depraved and inhuman mean anything, it applies to that woman, it applies to Nicole Wallace, it applies to Bill O'Reilly, it applies to George Tenet, it applies to Dick Cheney. And by the way, Shepard Smith said on his show 3 years ago that torture is a crime. It's not that, let's quit, it is a crime. So if there's a crime, that means there's criminals. And he said that means that those criminals are Dick Cheney and George Bush. He said it on Fox News. And he said the F word, which is really immoral.
Yeah, that'll get you in trouble.
I just want to end on one last thing. I was reading the torture report, and it said that one of the detainees was violated anally so much that he had basically prolapse. I mean, his rectum fell out. Wow.
That's not awesome.
That's what we do. I mean, that's what we did. And for us to pretend like that never happened and that we're awesome anyway, it's like the height of childishness. And you're just a silly, stupid little kid, okay? just shut up, okay? Because we need to fix that.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't be a country that tolerates that. We can't be a country that pays for that. We paid for that. Like, our tax dollars paid for that.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, we have to shine the harsh sunlight on this and disinfect it. I mean, this is unacceptable, and we cannot let it happen again.